What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into this video. This is part 2 of how to bomb-proof your 6.5 turbo diesel. This video is pretty much going to be the outside of the motor, like not getting into the motor, bomb-proof upgrades such and such that you can do to your 6.5. I will make an inside the motor video. That will be next, but this is everything you can do to the outside of the motor to really get the fullest life out of these things as possible. So starting off, everybody knows about the little black box on the injection pump. That is the PMD, pump mounted driver. It is located on the injection pump, and that's a terrible spot. It's an electronic component. 93 and older trucks don't have to worry about it. 94 and newer trucks, this is what you want to looking for getting into the 6.5s. So the pump mounted driver, of course, you have your injection pump down in the valley underneath the intake hat and underneath the intake manifold. There's a relocation kit you can buy. You can mount them down on the bumper, of course. You could mount them up on top of the intake hat with a heat sink. I get it away from the motor and I mount it over on the driver's side fender with the heat sink. I've never had an issue with that. You know, like I said, most people try to mount them down on the bumper. I've never had a problem with it under the hood on the passenger or driver's side of the fender. That little component can cause no start, hard start, rough idle. It can make your RPMs jump. It can stall the truck at any point in time. I was actually sitting at a red light and there was a car in front of me and the RPMs just tacked out of sight while I was in drive, and I had to slam on the brakes and just to keep it from smacking into the ass end of that little car. That would not have been fun. So relocate that PMD to completely avoid those issues. Second, and I made a video on this as well, the lift pump. A lot of you guys know that the factory lift pump is garbage, absolute trash. Get rid of that. It is mounted down behind this frame member. It's just got two little wires going to it. I personally am running a fast 165. If you want to know more about that, go check out my fast 165 video. It's kind of a long video, but I go through the entire in-depth install of how I did it and other fuel components that you can really pump some fuel to these things for sure. Definitely get rid of that lift pump. It's crap. You can go with Carter, Air Dog, Fast, Walbro. They make good lift pumps, but I personally run a Fast. Also, with that, the oil pressure sensor. That is originally mounted down right almost underneath your fuel filter in the valley. Get that other electrical component out of the valley of the motor. That oil pressure switch shares the electronic load in order to power the lift pump. By doing a lift pump upgrade, especially with a Faster and Air Dog, you kind of eliminate that issue, but you still don't want that to go bad. You can either delete it or move it, relocate it like I did, so never have an issue with that again. If that part goes bad, your truck will stall, the lift pump won't work. So yeah, either delete it or make the lift pump function off its own power source. Go check out that video. Super handy. Let's see. Got the PMD lift pump. Oh, okay. So the vacuum pump, the wastegate, and the alternator belt. The vacuum pump is originally located right underneath the alternator. Let me see if I can grab a... where did I put that light? Right there. So the vacuum pump is originally located just underneath the alternator, right down. See if I can see those bolts. Or bolt holes. No, I can't. Anyways, it's located right down here-ish. The vacuum pump, the only thing that the vacuum pump controls is the wastegate on the factory turbos. Get rid of it. It's gonna go bad. It's not a matter of if it's gonna go bad, it's a matter of when it's gonna go bad. And if you're pulling a hill, you're towing a trailer, you do not want your turbo to not function properly because your vacuum pump shit out. So get rid of the vacuum pump, get a alternator belt, or serpentine belt for a 6.2. If you need the part number, I will leave it in the comments below, or I'll just send you the part number. Leave a comment below if you need it. And put a manual wastegate on the turbo, and you will never run into the turbo not working issue as far as that goes. Vacuum pump known for going out. Okay, so another part on the exterior of the motor, kind of a pain in the butt to change, but definitely doable while the the motor is still in the truck, is the harmonic balancer. You may know that the harmonic balancer is two pieces of metal that are mated together by this little rubber insert, and mine's starting to kind of get malleable, but this is the exterior metal piece and then the interior metal piece. This keeps those two pieces together. If you are buying a 6.5, that is definitely something to check. If this is all dry rotted, you know, that's a talking point to get the truck for a lower price. If it's too far dry rotted, I wouldn't even consider buying one, because that crank has taken a bunch of abuse with that harmonic balancer. Remove the harmonic balancer, remove this back piece, and right here, and go buy a fluid dampener and a new pulley. Leroy Diesel and Quadstar both sell them. It's the pulley itself is a I believe billet aluminum or machined aluminum piece that won't fail on you, and the fluid dampener will never fail. That keeps the crank completely balanced, so you avoid the cracking issues that these engines were also known for because of that. Another thing that, you know, to think about buying a 6.5, I would ask if the alternator was ever changed. Some of you know that the starter was ever changed. Some of you may know that the starter is held up primarily by these two bolts. They go directly up to the engine block, that's where they mount to, And they also have the, let me see if I can get this freaking light situated. Excuse you. Come on, light. There we go. Kind of hard to see, but this is the very front of the starter. This little bracket right here, a lot of times that gets forgotten, and when you change the starter, and if that is not put back on, that starter is putting a lot of torque on those bolts. Please mind the don't mind the oil. You know, this truck ain't perfect, but with that front bracket missing, it's putting a lot of torque and a lot of stress on these rear bolts, and it can cause the block, goddamn, it can cause the block to crack right, primarily on this very rear bolt. And once that breaks, you either weld the block or see about finding a new one. That's a real pain in the butt. You know, it's a cast iron block. If you know somebody who knows how to weld cast iron, you can probably get a 6.5. You can use that as a talking point and get that welded up. Other than that, you're getting a new block. There's no way around it, but definitely something to look for. Another exterior component not getting inside of the motor, the turbos themselves. If you're like me, you can't stand anything stock. If you're going to put a manual wastegate on the turbo, consider not pushing that turbo to 20 psi. I have a GM, what is that, GM3, GM4, anyways, can't read it, GM5, okay. So yeah, I have a GM5 turbo, and I have it at max 22 psi. However, I also have head studs, and I plan on replacing that turbo anyways. Those turbos are like 15 pounds max on them things. If you run it for a long time, over 15 pounds, you're gonna smoke the bearings in it. You're gonna burn it up way faster than what it's designed for. I mean, no part is indestructible. You're gonna replace it anyways, eventually, but if you can hold off pushing that turbo to the absolute max, the GM8s, GM5s, I think the GM4s and 3s turbos, don't push those things to the max. I have it pushed to 22 psi, and I only get up to that when I really need to pass somebody. I'm cruising down the highway right around 10, going about 70 miles an hour, anywhere from 7 to 10, 15 max, and then if I really need to get around something, I go to that 22 for a short period of time. Upgrading turbo, of course, get a new intake hat, and that's pretty much the premise of bomb-proofing the exterior of it. Of course, in my last video, keeping these things cool, I mentioned a bunch of other parts. Please go check out that video. There's a bunch of good information in there. I hope this video was able to help you out. If you like the video, please smack the fuck out of that like button. I always greatly appreciate it. I love reading you guys' comments, so if you have any questions whatsoever, please leave them below. I will answer them. I will get to them. The next video will be coming out shortly, which Bombproofing a 6.5 will be getting into the engine components that are inside the engine. Also, if y'all can think of any other bomb-proofing ideas, share with people. Please leave them in the comments below. Again, this is just the exterior of the motor. But thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.